All right, so today's lesson is really short, and then you can do your work. Your work is on EDIA. Most of this unit, your work is on EDIA. If it is in the module, we have labeled it EDIA quiz or whatever and told you what the title of it is. So you'll keep seeing that pop up. It's easier for us to do that than it is. You guys tend to do that better than giving you an upload. So like, let's do whatever makes you guys turn in work. Okay. So I'm going to start with just the adding to begin with. And you guys did a little bit of this on Thursday before we got out for break on EDIA. So you should be able to do this really well. If not, then just refresh and make sure that you go back and finish that assignment. So we're going to start with all the additions, and what you're looking for are like terms. And to be able to have like terms, you have to have the same letter and the same power. So if we're looking at this first one, we have a 6n cubed. We're looking for other n cubes. Okay, so those two are like terms, guys. Those two are like terms. All you do is add the numbers. 6 plus 3 is 9. And whatever made them alike, you just put it on the 9. So n cubed. Do what? I can't hear you. That's what makes them alike.
Because if you're on top of the 9.
No, I mean, like, why'd you start at number 3?
Because I'm doing the additions first, and then we'll go back and do subtractions. All right, so then we have n squared and n squared. So we're going to put those together. You just add the numbers in front. -3 plus 8 is a +5, and n squared made them alike. That's all you do. It doesn't get any harder than that. Okay, so you're just adding the numbers. If you need a calculator, you can go grab one. All right, so on the next one, number 4, we have an x to the 4th. So we're looking for all of the x to the 4ths. Once you find all the like terms, you just add the numbers. 3 plus 3 is 6. And x to the 4th was why they were alike. Please and thank you. The next one that you have is a 2x. There's a -5x. Just work with the numbers. 2 minus 5 is -3, and x made them alike. That's it. And remember, EDIA doesn't care what order you put them in. Okay, so if you would have gave me -3x plus 6x, it still would have worked in EDIA. Okay. On the next one, we have a 1. It doesn't have any number, any variables with it. Neither does the 2, so we just add it up. 1 plus 2 is 3. And then we have 8k to the 4th, which is the same as 3k to the 4th. 8 plus 3 is 11k to the 4th. All right, again, we're going to skip down to number 7 because it's addition, and then we'll talk about the subtractions. Okay. Number 7, we start with 4a. So we want to look for all the ones that just have an a, and that would be -8. Add the front numbers. 4 plus -8 is -4, and a was what made them alike. The next thing we have is 7a cubed. We look for the other a cubes, and there's only one. Add the front numbers. 7 plus 7 is a +14, and a cubed made them alike. And then you guys see there's one thing I haven't highlighted. We just write it on the end. -4a squared. That's it. Any questions on adding? And I think that's pretty much all you did on that Thursday. So then we're going to go back and subtract. I want to make sure.
So would that be your answer?
That's it. Yeah. That's all you did.
So that's all.
That's it.
So you don't add them.
You can't because they're not like terms.
So how do you have the number like terms?
Because this only has an a. This is a cubed,
Okay.
and this is a squared. Got it?
So how come if they're like? What?
If they're all the same, we're already putting them together before we put them down here.
But we can just put this right?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, so look at your next one. Anytime you have minus, you need to distribute that minus. So what that means is write the first one like normal. And then that back parenthesis, we want to just change the sign. So it was a positive 6n cubed. We're going to change it to negative 6n cubed. It was a -4, so we're going to change it to +4. So all we're going to do is change signs. And now it looks exactly like the other problems. That's it. All right, so we look for our like terms. We have just a plain 7 and just a plain 4. So we add those up. 7 plus 4 is 11. And then we have 2n cubed minus 6n cubed, just your numbers. 2 minus 6 is -4, and n cubed made them alike. That's it. So there's no difference in the subtract except for make sure you distribute that sign. Okay, change the signs behind. So we're going to change the signs of this parenthesis. We're going to leave the front one alone. Instead of a +2, we're going to have a -2. Instead of a +6x, we're going to have a -6x. So again, just change the signs. We have just a plain 6 and a plain -2. 6 minus 2 is 4. We have a 7x minus 6x. 7 minus 6 is 1, and x made them alike. Remember, we don't have to put the 1. EDIA will take the 1, so don't stress out about that. You can put the 1 into EDIA and you'll be fine, okay? But if you have multiple choice for your test or your quiz or anything like that later on that I made up, it'll probably just have the x, okay? All right, the next one. We're going to do the same thing. The first one stays the same. So a plus a to the 4th. All of the back ones change. So a -2a, a +3, and a +3a to the 4th. They all change. In the front, we have a single a and a -2a. So remember, a single a is 1. So 1 minus 2 is -1, and what made them alike was the a. We have a to the 4th and 3a to the 4th. Remember, again, this is a 1. So 1 plus 3 is 4, a to the 4th. And then the only thing we have left over is the +3. And that's it. Same thing on the next one. We write the first one. And we change the last one, a -2n, a -1, and a +5n cubed. We have a plain 2 and a plain -1. 2 minus 1 is 1. We have a 3n cubed and a 5n cubed. 3 plus 5 is 8. Very good. N cubed. You're fine. And the only thing I have left is a -2n, so I just write it down. Number 9, same thing. We're going to write the first, 6x minus 5. And then change all the back. -6, -4x, but a +x cubed. We have a 6 with 1x and a -4 with just 1x. 6 minus 4 is 2, and x is what made them alike. We have a -5 minus 6. When we add those, we get -11. And then we just have a plus x cubed on the end. No, it doesn't get any harder than that. Okay, it really does not get any harder than that. Same thing on number 10, and then we have some on the back. I'm not going to do every single one on the back, but we are going to do a couple of them, okay? So just bear with me for a little bit longer, and then I'll give you time to do your work. So leave your 6 plus 3v squared. We have a positive 5v squared that's going to change to a negative. A negative 1 changes to positive 1, and a positive 4 to a negative 4v cubed.
Is that a T?
6 plus 3v squared minus 5v squared. You good? I have a plain 6 and a plain 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. I have a 3v squared minus 5v squared. And make sure it's a negative 2v squared. And then the last thing I have is that minus 4v cubed. Any questions on the front page? It's pretty simple. Everybody good? All right, so we're going to drop down to number 16. Okay, we're going to drop down to number 16. The tops are just like, so 11 through 15 is just like the front. So I'm going to skip those for a little bit. So go down to number 16. I don't want to waste too much of your time. This is all plus, so we just find our like terms. We don't have to do anything with it, but find our like terms. So we're going to start and highlight any v to the fourth. So here's a v to the fourth, and here's a v to the fourth. So this time we just have 3 of them. So we just add them up. 7 plus 8 is 15, plus 3 is 18 v to the fourth. So the same exact thing that we've been doing. The next one we have is a v squared. So I'm going to highlight all the v squares. And then, like I said, you guys can use your calculator. Negative 3 plus 2 plus 3. So negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1, plus 3 is 2. Again, if you guys want to see it, you don't have to put the v's in, just the numbers. So negative 3 plus 2 plus 3 is a positive 2. That's all you have to do. And then the only thing I have left is the minus 6v cubed. So same exact thing we were doing, just more of those numbers. Okay. So then on number 17, remember anything behind the minus, we have to change the sign. So the first one stays fine. The second one stays just like it is. But then we're going to change these because they're behind the minus. Negative 6n to the fourth plus 5. So anything behind a minus, you have to change. We have a plain 3 and a plain 5. So 3 plus 5 is 8. Oh, we have another one. Sorry, I missed it. Plus 3 is what? 11. Very good. Sorry, I missed it. We have negative 4n squared, a 3n squared. That's all the n squareds. Negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1n squared. And then we have 2n to the fourth minus 6n to the fourth. So 2 minus 6 is negative 4n to the fourth. That's it. All right, I'm going to change one of these for a minute just so I can explain to you what happens. And here's the one I'm going to change. Pay attention real quick. Number 18, I want you to change that last sign to a plus. Number 18, that last sign right there, I want you to change to a plus. And there's a reason that I'm doing this. It doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay.
We have to do some for those answers too.
I'm just doing it for this problem.
Okay.
I just want this problem to look like this. Here's why. The only numbers behind the minus that you want to change are the ones inside of that parenthesis. So only change the ones behind. We're not going to change these because they're behind that plus now. Does that make sense? So only change the ones that are behind the minus. So we're going to leave the beginning, 5m to the fourth plus 6. We're going to change all of these, negative 2m squared, a positive 4, a positive 8m. And then again, anything behind a plus, you leave alone. So that's why I changed it so you guys could see that. If it's behind a plus, you leave it alone. Okay. So on this one, we have 5m to the fourth and no other m to the fourth. So we're just going to write that down. We have a plain 6 and a plain 4. And 6 plus 4 is 10. We have a negative 2m squared and a positive 2m squared. That makes 0. They cancel each other out. So we don't even write that down. And then the last thing that we have is 8 plus 8 is 16m. And that's it. Now on the next ones, you'll see that there's 2 minuses. 18 did have 2 minuses, but we didn't want to work with it. You're going to change everything behind the minus. Okay, so change everything behind a minus. So 4n squared minus 3n cubed. It was a positive n cubed, so we're going to change it to a negative n cubed. It was a positive 6, so we change it to negative 6. Change to a positive 4n to the fourth. Change to a negative 7 and a negative 2n to the fourth. Find your like terms. I only have 1 n squared, so we're going to write that thing down, 4n squared. My n cubes, I have a negative 3 and a negative 1. When I add that up, it gives me negative 4 n cubed. We have a negative 6 and a negative 7, which makes a negative 13. And the last thing I have is 4 minus 2, or 2 n to the fourth. All right, one more, and I'll let you get to work. All right, same thing. Everything behind the minus is going to change. I have 2 minuses this time, so I'm going to change those 2. The first one stays the same, 8 plus 3x to the fourth. There was a positive 7, so I'm going to change it to a negative 7x to the fourth. It was a negative x cubed, so I'm going to change it to a positive x cubed, and then a negative 7. A negative 6, and a positive 2x to the fourth. I have a plain 8, a plain negative 7, and a plain negative 6. 8 minus 7 is 1. Minus 6 is negative 5. And again, you guys can put that in your calculator. Don't stress about it. I have 3x to the fourth minus 7x to the fourth plus 2x to the fourth. 3 minus 7 is negative 4, plus 2 is negative 2. So again, look, 3 minus 7 plus 2.
Okay.
And then the only thing I have left is x to the third. Any questions? All right, so this is what you're gonna be doing on your EDIA. You'll probably need a separate sheet of paper just to be able to list it out. And then finish that up before you walk out of here. Zoomers, finish that before you go on to something else.